Asher and Penman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
We saw it coming, so we hit the ground running. We hit the ground running. We hit the ground running. We saw it coming, so we hit the ground running. We hit the ground running. We hit the ground running. I had a dream that they were handing out money.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm very excited about our next guest. When I saw this press release, I'm like, wow, holy crap, I want to do that interview. And so let's welcome to the show Steve from The Vapors. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. And, you know, I was listening to your new music, the newest single you dropped on the 17th, and it just brings me all the way back to 1980. And like, Hit the Ground Running to me is like just like I went in the DeLorean back to 1980, which is funny because I just got off of doing radio coverage at Shiprock where the theme was the 80s and they had the DeLorean there.
Wow.
So it is pretty funny, but what a great song. So tell us what it's like after 45 years to write new music.
It's been great. We had a lot of songs, and we had an American friend who said, "Oh, you guys need to make another album. You know, the last one was great. Make another one." And we had a friend called Mike Giblin who has his own studio in his basement. He said, "Yeah, I really would love to do it. I'd love to produce." And yeah, so we headed down in September and spent 2 weeks there making what I think is an energetic, fun album.
Well, it's not only energetic and fun, but the subjects that you guys are writing about are, again, how are we back in the 80s where we have to write about some of this crap still? You know, like it seems like some of the subjects in the world are the same as they were in the 80s.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been playing some songs from the first album quite recently. And it's just like we play there's a song called Cold War. And it's like, well, there's still some kind of Cold War going on. There's so many of the same issues and the same problems now as there were right back in 1980.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. And like, I remember me and my bro, we would be like, it doesn't matter. The world's going to blow up in 1984 anyway. And who would have thought in 2025, we would still be thinking that way, but still here, you know?
Yeah, you'd have thought it would either have completely got blown up or would have done something about making sure it could never happen.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe we're in the same place. Yeah.
Totally. And you know, okay, so I've interviewed and I'm friendly with Joe from the Vandals. And one time he was joking around during the interview because he knew I wouldn't ask him this, but he was like, and don't ask us when the Vandals are going to come out with new music. Nobody wants some 50-year-old punk rocker writing new music. But you guys did it fabulously. I mean, the music is as relevant today as it was then, and this new album is just like badass, to be blunt.
Brilliant. I'm so glad you like it. We're really proud of it. We really enjoyed making it. We had a lot of fun making it, and basically we set the equipment up. We put some microphones in front of it, and we played live and recorded it. It's very much recorded in the way that we would have recorded Nuclear Days back in 1979.
I love that because, you know, as being from, you know, the scene all this time myself, it's like I kind of miss those old days of the different type of DIY. Like you have DIY today, but DIY is a lot easier today than it was back then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The computer has totally democratized music and made it possible for everyone to make records, which is great. It's great that everyone has the the possibility to make records now.
Yeah, it is great. And on the other side, like back when you started, it's like you learned to become a musician, you know, by basically trial and error and doing it.
Just going out and doing gigs, just play and play and play and play and get better and get better and get better, hopefully.
So do you think also that the period of time where we had no live music for COVID helped you in writing new music? Because the way I look at it is for a lot of like current bands, it gave them a chance to get off the hamster wheel and like create again. And I think with that downtime, the creativity comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I think we didn't do very much during COVID as a band. I mean, we didn't even really get together or rehearse very much. But Dave was prolific in writing stuff, and he had a lot of stuff. He had a lot of stuff written when we came out of COVID, and we started playing again. He was like, "Well, you know, I've got some new songs. You want to play some new songs?" And it's all about, it has to excite me first. For me to, if I hear something that excites me, I think this could excite everyone else. And some of the songs, I was just like, yeah, this is a great song. I love this bit and I love that bit. And yeah, I hope that feeling comes across.
It does come across, and that's why I brought that up, because with that downtime, you can't really rehearse together, you can't really be on the road, you can't play, all you can do is write. Is the way I'm thinking, you know?
Yeah.
So that's when you have that time where you can switch off for everything else and just focus on the creativity.
Yeah, and I think Dave must have done a lot of that, because
I'm sure.
He came out with some great songs.
Yeah, and so tell us a little bit about the different songs, because they definitely have some meaning. Like for instance, The Human Race.
Yeah, well, it's about the band, really.
Yeah,
it's the song about the band and you know what we've been doing, which is running in the human race.
And it's nice to escape to music from the human race nowadays.
Yeah, but that's another one. I mean, I love that song too. It makes me smile.
Yeah, well, and then of course, so I was on I told you that cruise Shiprock doing radio coverage, but my daughter, she lives up in the panhandle of Florida, and she texted me a video of them having a blizzard there.
Wow.
And, you know, you have another song on the album talking about climate change. And if it's a blizzard in Florida, we need to worry.
For sure, yeah. We do need to worry. Well, we need to at least, you know, think about it and be not just blindly carry on like we have been for hundreds of years now.
Exactly.
Since the Industrial Revolution.
Exactly. Now, is there any song on the album, like they're all probably your babies, but is there one that really, you know, like hits home for you besides The Human Race? Because obviously it's about you guys.
I mean, I really like Hit the Ground Running because it's so punk rock.
It is. And I definitely got the turning Japanese like vibe out of it. You know, the vibe of it, you know, it's that same, that's why I mean that same vibe of that music then.
Yeah, like it's just let's just play live. Let's just try and capture the energy in the room.
Yep.
And I think Mike Giblin, the producer, has managed to do that.
Absolutely. And now, speaking of live, you guys are going to be doing a tour, and so tell us about live shows that are going to be going on in 2025.
Well, first up, we've got some UK shows to promote the album. We're doing, I think it's 8, but we've gone right back to our roots, doing small club gigs, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. Then we've got some gigs with Big Country in the UK in April and May, which I think is 10 or 12 gigs. And then in the summer, in August and September, we're coming over to America to play on the Lost 80s live tour, which is 6 weeks long.
Yes. And that, what do you know yet what states that is going in?
It's all over. It's all over. There's
Nice.
some places where there's some places. We're going to Florida. We're going to Georgia. It's California, Texas. It's quite a few states this time.
I'll definitely have to be at the Florida show, especially since, so you guys are playing, Big Country's playing, Flock of Seagulls, and my friend Josie Cotton is playing, so
Icicle Works.
It's definitely going to be a lot of fun, for sure.
Yeah, those tours are just such fun to do, really. You get to make a lot of friends in the other bands because you spend so much time together backstage hanging out.
Right.
You make a lot of friends on those tours, and we did Lost 80s in 2019, and I'm still friends with a lot of people from that tour.
Nice. And see, that's good to hear because, back in the 80s, so as an example, I was into metal, and you couldn't be into new wave if you were into metal, and you couldn't go to a punk show if you had long hair, and vice versa. And it was just so stupid. And, it's funny because the first time I was ever talking with Josie, I was like, I can say it now. I used to like you in the 80s, but I wasn't allowed to.
Had to keep it secret.
I know, right? I remember it was so funny. One day, one of my best friends, we went to all these metal shows all the time. And I found this album. I was just talking about this recently. I found this album in his house, and I was like, "What's this?" And not in a nice way. And it was Adam and the Ants, Kings of the Wild Frontier. To this day, that is one of my favorite albums ever. And so it's like, but I had to play. Oh, you shouldn't be listening to this. And it's so cool that nowadays, that's the one place in the world that we can all get together and get along and be united. And that's in any type of live music venue, event, festival. I don't care what it is. And it doesn't matter what genre you're from.
Yeah. Everyone can get together and join.
Yeah. I've said, if we want to solve all the world's problems, just have one big live music event with everybody. And, and we could all unite and stop, what all the powers that be are trying to manipulate us to do. And let's just love each other and be human beings together.
Yeah. And share and help each other. And
no doubt.
Be kind.
No doubt. 100%. So is there, tell us how people can check out the new album. It drops February 28th.
Yeah.
Via Vapor Zone Records.
Yeah, it's being released in America on Red Chuck Records. I think it's available from Bandcamp. And the album's going to be on vinyl and CD on Red Chuck.
Nice.
For all our American friends.
I love it. And so, definitely badass album. I can't believe after 45 years, you're still putting out great music that is, stands the test of time. And that's the key right there, too.
Oh, thanks very much. Like I say, the songs all excited me when I first heard them. And that gives it a good chance of exciting other people.
That's the most important part. Like if it doesn't excite you and you're the one playing it, who would it excite? Exactly.
And I'm pretty firm about that. Like if we play something and if any of us go, I'm not really sure about this one, it's just like, okay, that we're not doing that one. Yeah. Everyone, we all have to think, this is great.
Absolutely. And it's same for me as press. I won't do an interview of an artist that I don't like the music because I can't passionately promote them if I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Yeah, I mean, all you're going to say is I don't like it.
Right. I mean, I see these other media people sometimes. I go on tour and do these festivals all over the US, UK, and Europe. And I see these media people more here than over there that they're doing interviews with bands that like they don't even like the music. And I'm like, why are you doing press at an event that you don't even like?
Yeah,
You know,
it's
right?
Yeah.
Music is a passion. And when you're talking to people about music, you have to have that same passion about it.
for sure.
You know? Well, you guys definitely have it. I can't wait till you play live here in the States. And, you know, I can't wait for this album to drop. Everybody needs to get it. Thanks a lot for putting out new music all these years later. And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
Hey, thank you for having me on. It's been great. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.
This is Steve Smith of the Vapors. You're listening to the Pipe Man on W4.